Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the, with our new Roxicology video. Let me first say a few things. The first thing is, I am so sorry that I've held on to this video for so long. It is really difficult to do advice videos when you yourself are going through some things, and it just kind of makes it difficult to give advice to people when you're going through your own thing. The reviews and the top of the blogs are so much easier to do because I can just kind of talk and joke and laugh, but the advice columns, it takes a little bit more emotions, and I didn't want to be trying to tell you guys something I wasn't in the mood, or if it was going to be a little bit more negative because of how I was feeling that day. I hope you guys understand. I was starting not to even do the video because I was like, they done probably came up with their own damn answers by now. If you guys are going to notice that I'm not going to have this on in the video because I erased part of the damn video. It was a mistake when I was trying to edit it yesterday. So the beginning, which is one of the parts that got erased, that's what we doing right now here. And when you guys get into video, you'll see the difference. That is another thing I'm sorry about. I hate the fact that it's not going to be continuously right, but I'm not doing that whole video over. It took me over an hour to record it. Lastly, I'm only going to answer the questions that are sent to me to my email address, okay? Because you guys have been sending me stuff to my Facebook page, my inbox on Facebook, which I'm not good at getting to. You've been sending it to DMing me on Twitter. You guys have been sending it to my YouTube inbox. All of those places I am not going to check. I'm not going to even check them. I'm not going to do them. I'm not going to do it because you guys don't really know how many comments and how many emails that I get. I get literally hundreds, or maybe almost even some thousands, I want to say sometimes. So it can be a lot, and trying to filter through all those different places for it is just too much. So really, you guys, if you want me to answer them, send them directly to my email address. Nowhere else, please. If you sent it back any of those other places, it's not going to get talked about today. I'm sorry. I know you guys like the advice videos, but I'm only going to do them like every other week because just every week is just too much. It's just too much. So it's going to be every other week, or whenever I get a good amount of good amount of letters gathered up together. Okay, so I hope you guys understand everything. I'm apologizing that I look different for the rest of the video, but you guys know why. The same way that I always do the videos, I'm not going to put anybody's names in it, and we are going to get to solving some problems. Let's get to it. Me and my first boyfriend been broken up for a while now. On a hot day, I was going to the grocery store around my house, and it's an ice cream place around the corner. As I am walking past, I see a guy who looks like my ex from the back, and I'm staring to see if it's him, and it was, with his girl. I think he glanced at me back. I'm not sure because it happened so fast. My heart started to pound. I started to get hot really fast and upset. I ran back to the bus stop to go back home. As I was standing there, I wanted to walk in the store where he was and curse him out, not because he was with someone else, but because he had hurt me. I never got treated by him the way I should have. He just abandoned me because I wasn't giving him what he wanted, sex. After the relationship ended, it showed he never cared for me. I wanted to so bad, but I did not. I just went home and cried and cried. My heart was broken again. It was so hard seeing my ex with somebody else. And plus, this is the same place he used to take me to get ice cream. What the hell? In a way, I think this was on purpose, but who knows? I just want to let go of this feeling, so when I see him again, with or without someone, I won't feel anger and rage. That bastard. What should I do? How do I let this go? I am so sorry. This is really just a case of growing pains. Really, this is just, your heart was broken by your first love, and I think we've all been there. It is not a good feeling. It's not really any advice I can give you other than you will get over it. I know that your heart hurts, and you get upset when you think about him with somebody else and all the things that he said and did to you, but it is something that's going to pass. I don't want to minimalize it just because you're younger and everything. But yeah, it's something that is going to pass with time. We've all had broken hearts, and we've all cried at home. We've all wondered what he was doing, and even drove by the house or walked by the house or called and hung up, and all them kind of things we've all done at one time or another. It's just something that you have to go through. You will definitely meet somebody else There is always going to be somebody else that's going to fill your shoes. And when you do meet with somebody else and they make you happy, then you're going to wonder why you ever felt like this about this guy. You know, the fact that he was with you because he wanted to have sex with you and you weren't ready, or you felt like you weren't comfortable having sex with him, then you know what? It's just good riddance, really. I mean, because you shouldn't compromise what you want to do, especially when you're younger, and make a decision like that if you don't feel comfortable doing it. So, you know, he's moved on to the next girl who maybe is going to give him the sex that he needs or whatever, but you just keep what you feel that is important to you to yourself. And like I said, you'll meet somebody else that's going to completely make you feel like you don't know why you even wasted your crying, wasted your energy, wasted your emotions, wasted your anger on somebody as trivial as him. You're going to get over it, mama. You're going to get over it. When I was 9 years old, I went to stay with my grandmother for a weekend. Her son, which was my uncle, had just moved here from New York and was dealing with an alcohol problem. The night I spent with my grandmother, my uncle came into the room I was sleeping in and he molested me. I blocked the details from my mind, and to this day I do not remember everything, but I came to myself the next morning, lying in my own blood from where he had basically rammed himself inside of me. I went to tell my grandmother, and to make a long story short, we went to court and she testified against me. I wasn't allowed in the courtroom until I gave my account of what had happened. But in the end, all I know was that somehow my uncle got 5 years in jail. Well, like I said, now I'm 24 years old and I have an 8-year-old half-brother. He lives in California, but he came to spend the summer with me this year. Everything was cool, but then my grandmother called and said she wanted to spend some time with him. She came and picked him up, and I didn't think anything of it until later on that night. My little brother called me and asked if I could come get him. I asked him why, and he said because he didn't feel comfortable over there. I went to pick him up, and when I got there, my uncle was there. Yes, the same uncle that had molested me. Now, I forgave him a long time ago, but we don't talk about what happened. But when I saw him there in that back room with my little brother, I freaked out and cussed him out. And my grandmother the fuck out. My question is, was I wrong? Do you think I'm being paranoid? I asked my brother if my uncle had said anything out of the way to him, and he denied it, but I'm kind of feeling like he did say something. My brother is like me, extremely laid back, but I can always see when he's keeping something from me. I don't know what to do, but I'm getting angrier and angrier by the second. Please help me. No, I don't think you were wrong in any kind of way. Absolutely not. And I am really mad at your grandmother for even letting your little brother go back there with the man, considering all that has happened in the past with the uncle and you and your grandmother. It's like, why would she even let your little brother go around your uncle? Now, the fact that your grandmother testified against you, she obviously didn't believe that her child was capable of harming you in that way, even though there was blood and everything. If I understood the letter right, it seems like she didn't really believe you, that he did this to you, and or she was trying to cover up for your uncle. Whichever way it is, it's just unfortunate now that you have you're supposed to be responsible. You're taking care of your little brother. I'm sure his mother did not send him to you for a whole summer for you to put him in harm's way, especially not with a fucking pedophile uncle. So yeah, I would have did the same thing. I'm pissed off for you, and your uncle's lucky that you didn't fuck him up, because really, I think I would have gave you a pass if you did do something like that. Not that I condone violence or anything like that, but it hurts my heart when people have these kind of issues. Like, oh, it's just terrible that this man again might have done something to another child. I know you're feeling guilty and angry about the fact that, this man might have done something to the little boy. I almost feel like maybe he didn't do anything physically to him, but he did something that was probably inappropriate enough for an 8-year-old to realize that it was inappropriate. But the good thing about it is that he reached out to you and he told you, I don't feel comfortable here and I want you to come get me. So I really don't feel like anything extremely harmful happened to him, even a suggestive glance or a touch or something that's inappropriate talking to a child like that. Even that can be very, very that would piss me off too, but at least you can take comfort in knowing that something like that didn't happen. Now, the good thing is he didn't stay overnight, because ain't no telling what might have happened overnight. But yeah, no, I don't think that you were wrong, and I really think Now, this is hard for me to say because, you know, family is important and everything, but I think that you need to distance yourself, especially even from your grandmother. Okay, she just is not capable, maybe, of understanding the harm that this man did to you. You know, some people don't want to see the bad in their children. Don't want to see, you know, they can't see the forest for the trees. They wrapped up in it. Okay, she is still protective of her son and doesn't think that he's capable of doing these things. So yeah, I think that you need to probably separate yourself from them. I think for your own peace of mind, okay? It's because, you know, fool me once and that's shame on you, okay? But fool me twice, it's shame on me. You do not want to ever put yourself or anybody that you love in this same predicament again. So yeah, I would separate myself, and that's it. I'm sorry this happened to your brother, though. That's terrible. When I was younger, me and my cousin got along great. She has always been the type of person to get whatever she wants, but then I didn't really pay attention to it. Now that I am older, 16, and she is 13, it has become annoying, so I really do not go up there that much. Her mom has always treated me fairly and nicely, so my mom doesn't want me to be rude. And I do not want to be rude about the situation, but also I do not want to be around her. Either way, it'll hurt both of their feelings. So if I say something, but I do not want to spend time with them. Another reason is the age difference. It makes it harder for me to be able to relate to anything she does, and the way she gets whatever she wants and walks over her mom bothers me. I really do not want to hurt my aunt's feelings, but I do not want to hang with a 13-year-old girl that gets whatever she wants and acts bratty. It puts me in a bad situation. How would you handle this situation? This is another one. Basically, your cousin is spoiled. You don't want to be around her. It's hard. Like, you guys are both young enough that you have to do what your parents say. So you probably are pulled around the girl, and you guys are probably expected to interact and sit and have a good time, you know, like you did when you were 10 and they were 7. 16 and 13 is a little bit of a difference, though, because now the age difference really does show. You guys just don't have the same interests. And you know, one is in middle school and the other one is about to graduate from high school, you know, so it is a difference. Family members get on your nerves, but you still got to be around them. You know, that's just kind of how it works out. Now, maybe if you can get your patience together with your cousin, maybe you could try to reach out to her and talk to her, because a lot of times kids act a fool or bratty because they just get everything they want, but nobody has took the time to sit down and talk to them, relate to them, try and figure out, you know, what it is that they like other than just getting everything. You know, maybe she feels like, you know, maybe nobody really takes the time to talk to her. I don't know. If none of this works and you have to be around a girl, but you don't really want to be around a girl, then you just ignore the girl. You know, you guys be at family functions and everything, and you just kind of separate yourself and do what you got to do. You know, don't be rude, be respectful still, but yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. This is something that is going to probably eventually work itself out as you get older. You just going to have to kind of try to get your mom to understand. Maybe you guys won't go over there as much. Okay, you guys, now this one is really very long and very involved, so I am going to read part of the letter and then I'm going to try to break down the rest of what happens in the letter for you guys, because I won't have time. We'll be here all day. I am a 25-year-old student, and I am one of the middle children of 6 kids, 1 boy and 5 girls. My early childhood was cool and was pretty much perfect, from family vacations to basketball games with my dad in the summer to cookouts to pretty much anything a child could ask for. When I was 12 years old, me and my other sisters guessed that my oldest sister, who was 18 at the time, was pregnant. Everything changed, and I could especially see by the way my dad looked at her. He didn't have to say a word. I just knew from his face. During that time, I felt my mom quit being a mom to me and started being a mom to her grandkids instead. My sister now has 3 kids. So from 12 to now, which she's 25, I really feel like I lost out on time with my mom. I have felt like an afterthought or stepchild for years now. I had a really hard time dealing with it, and it just kind of become you know, really introverted and shy. I gained weight, which didn't help, and instead of getting help for it, I was just talked about mainly by my own family. She even told my younger sister, don't gain weight like the rest of my sisters because we are all overweight but the youngest. My mom has never been overweight either. I feel like I missed out on all the mother-daughter things that was supposed to happen or that she did with my other sisters. I talked to my other sister, the one in the middle, and she feels the same way as I do. And I see how it has affected her, but seeing that I didn't want to own up to how it has affected me, I can't deny that it has. Even my younger sister, 17, has noticed how my mom treats specific children. She has noticed those with their own kids, she treats them differently, but I told her she doesn't even know the half of it. The youngest has done all of those things with my mother that I lost out on. I am now in grad school and applying to med school this summer, and I get no encouragement. I don't feel like I am better because I don't have kids and I want to be a doctor, but I do feel like just like I would like the same support and help that my other sisters get. I feel like she rewards bad behavior, but she couldn't even tell me congratulations for getting into grad school. She asked me what I was going to do with this degree, and I told her I wanted to get my PhD or go to med school after this, and instead of that's great or any other positive comments, she just said, don't get into debt. I don't know why I keep expecting anything different. I just keep getting my feelings hurt. So you guys, she goes on in the letter and explains a lot of background about some sisters that have been on drugs and have been stealing from the mother and stole from the girl while she was away at school. Excuse me. And it kind of sounds like the mother was still trying to cover up for the girl, the sister that has the drug issues. And instead of supporting the one that's in school, you know, I'm not crying, you guys, I'm choking on something. Instead of supporting the one that's in school, she was still really concentrating all her time, it seemed like, covering up for the daughter that's on drugs. Now, the last part of the letter goes like this. I'm sick of feeling like a damn stepchild. I deserve a mother too, and I feel like when it's just me and certain sisters, everything is cool. But once they come around, especially the ones who stole things from us, my feelings and the other two sisters feelings don't matter. My sister that is 2 years older than me has been to a therapist, and she recommended to her to make her own family, but nothing can replace a mother. I find myself crying sometimes and envious of other people and relationships they have with their mothers. At this point, I am just really hurt. It's a whole lot more to the letter, but I'm not going to read it because I'm telling you it's a lot. What I'm going to say first is that you need to go to counseling. You absolutely need to go to counseling because you have this feeling that you want something from your mother that I don't really know if you are ever going to get at this point. I mean, you're 25 years old and your mom is busy with all the other everything else that she got going on. I don't want to say that you're an afterthought or anything like that, but and I don't want to make it seem like I am taking up for your mother or making less of your own issues, but this is kind of what I think. A lot of times parents do the best that they can, okay? So when they have, like, especially when it's a big group of kids, everybody's going to have their own needs. So a lot of times parents, in order to feel like they're the most useful, they will try to be there for the ones who need them the most, okay? Now, I'm not saying that this is right or anything, but, you know, a lot of times when parents realize that they have a couple of kids that are fuck-ups, they tend to cater to them and try to help them more than the ones who have been the more independent, the more responsible, you know, the ones that seem to have a better, you know, hold on what they need to do in the future. Now, I know that can be very frustrating for somebody who's always tried to do the right thing and just wants some recognition for what they've done, especially from your mother. I'm not going to lie at all. Mother's love is very, very important. You guys all know how I feel about my mom, so I couldn't imagine being in this kind of predicament, but you know, it happens. It almost sounds like your mom could even be considered an enabler, like she continuously helps these people and that they continuously do worse and worse, and she's always there to pick up the pieces. In the meantime, the rest of you guys have been just having to kind of fend for yourself, and it's not fair. There may be some jealousy there, you know, because even within families, even mothers are sometimes jealous of their daughters, or you know, vice versa. Sisters are jealous of other sisters. It could be some jealousy there that, you know, you and your sisters who have done well for yourselves or who have always been able to stay on the straight path, it could be some jealousy that you know, oh, she always thinking she doing such and such and such and such, just because I had a baby don't mean that I'm lesser than her. And no, it don't mean that you're lesser, but it just means that you guys have chosen different paths. Your mom could even look at you and your sisters that are doing better as some, you guys might think that you guys are better because, the mom is doing all this to help her daughter, her other daughters and their kids. And, they might have some jealousy there. I mean, this is so way more involved than I could break down in this little few minutes video. You need to go to counseling, because now that you're 25 years old, it's going to sound harsh. Maybe counselors will tell you something differently, but it's not fixing to change, okay? Most likely, your mother is not about to change. We're 25. That means your mom at least has to be 55, 60 something years old. She is set in her ways. She is not about to back out of the way that she's been going all this time. And I don't think that you are really going to get what you are pining for from your mother. You're being down on yourself for your accomplishments and all the things that you've been able to achieve so far, just because you haven't had this, the love of and support of your mother. But what you really need to do is flip that around and, you become successful in spite of the fact that she wasn't there for you. You hear a lot of stories about people who did not have the support. And we have a lot of respect and love for people that made it, even though they didn't have anybody that was in their corner. And this sounds like this might be a little bit more of what you have. So you now need to accept that, okay, my mom is maybe not going to be the woman that I need her to be, but I'm going to be the woman that I need to be. So you go on to school and you graduate from grad school and you go to med school and you graduate and you become a doctor and you make yourself desirable and you marry a man that's going to appreciate all your qualities, and you start your own family and you become the mother that you wish that your mother was. I mean, sometimes that's the only way to correct it. If you're going to stay in this same cycle of you trying to get this approval from your mother that you never ever might not ever get, you're just going to stay here. You're going to stay depressed. You're going to stay upset. Mothers are great, but not all mothers are great. There's some fucked up mothers out there and that do horrible things to their children. I'm not saying that that's what your mother is, but I'm just saying. So, we can't, we glorify our moms, but the fact of the matter is they're human and a lot of them fuck up. So, it's the myth of the perfect mother that's also hurting you and harming you, but you just need to go. I think you need to go to therapy. Because there's more, you got a lot more that's going on there with your siblings and drug use and abuse and stealing, thievery, and, just a lot more. So I just want you to go to therapy. I really, really hope that you do too, because you are at this stage where, it could all go really, really well or could go really, really bad. And I really want you to continue on the path that you're on and for you to become successful. So good luck to you. My company recruited me out of college almost 2 years ago. I love my job. Well, I love the money that I make from my job. However, my job requires me to work crazy hours at nights and on the weekends. This was fine when I first got hired, but it was just me and my boyfriend back then. However, my boyfriend turned into my fiance, and now we have a beautiful daughter together. We love that baby girl. So I've been applying for new positions that offer a more stable work schedule. Monday through Friday between 8 and 5. I have received an offer that gives me every weekend off, and I will be home in time to make dinner for my family during the week. But this position offers me half the pay I currently make. Now, mind you, my fiance makes great money, but I've always had my own. This pay cut means I can't just splurge at the mall, but my bills will be taken care of. I don't know what to do. Yes, I want the time with my family so we can do things together on the weekends, but I love my extra cash too. If you were in my situation, would you accept the position and take the pay cut, or would you wait it out for another offer? This one is difficult because family is 100% necessary, okay? You are working crazy hours, working like a wild woman, and you are missing a lot of the stages that your daughter is going through. Yeah, she's 2 years old, so you're missing out on a lot of family time. The issue here is money, okay? Now, I would be lying if I didn't acknowledge the fact that money makes our lives a whole lot more comfortable. And when you don't have that money, then it makes things a little bit more regrettable. You work a lot, but you're compensated well. And and this allows you to be able to provide more for your daughter, provide more for your family, and, you're able to live a whole lot more comfortably. Now that you have the chance to maybe work less and be there for your family, that's great. That's wonderful. But you have to think about what is going to be the most important for you. But you got to remember that this is less money, okay? And less money for somebody who is used to having their own money is difficult to register, especially for people who are used to having their own money and not wanting to have to ask people for help, meaning, your fiance for the help or ask for money. It's just easier when you have your own. You are more independent. You are able to buy what you want. You don't have to answer to really anybody. Take it from me. It is an adjustment. It is totally an adjustment to not have as much money to go shop. And trust me, I know exactly what you were talking about here, because when I moved here from Los Angeles, I took a really big pay cut, and I don't shop hardly ever anymore like I used to. And I do miss being able to do that. It's just not as possible as it used to be. So basically, you have to decide what's important to you. A lot of times, peace of mind is worth the pay cut. If you want to be there with your family, and if you feel like that's going to make you the happiest, then I would say take the lesser paid job, and be there for your family. You could even take a lesser paid job for a couple of years until your daughter is in school, when she gets into kindergarten or first grade, and, maybe you could pick up the hours again, but you've been there for her formative years. You've been able to see a lot of her, a lot of her growing stages and the things that she goes through. So, yeah, I would, if it was going to make me the happiest, if I could take this pay cut and knew that my husband or my fiance was going to be able to, pick up the slack, pick up the pieces, and that my bills are still going to be paid, but maybe I'm not going to be able to go buy those shoes or that purse or that pants or, dress, then I would do it. Last year, my grandfather, someone who I trusted and would spend all summer with when I was young, was accused of sexually assaulting the child that he adopted after he married a woman when my grandmother died of cancer years ago. And I don't know what to do. The girl is a known liar and troublemaker in the family. I'm only 16, and it's hard for me to digest the whole situation because I trust him, and I spent a lot of time with him alone, and it never happened to me. I'm scared to confront the issue because I don't want to dig up any lost memories of abuse, but I need to know the truth. I'm really confused, and it has cost me a lot of sleep because I want to believe my grandfather, but at the same time, the situation is too serious to brush off. Please help me. This is terrible, and I'm going to tell you that you need to go to therapy too, because you need to know. You need to know if there was any type of abuse in the past for you. It's interesting that you feel like something may have happened to you, but you don't really remember. It's like, why do you think that he did something to you if you know that he didn't do anything to you? That alone makes me feel like you probably need to go to therapy, because maybe something. I'm not saying that your grandfather, listen, I really hope that the man hasn't done anything like this. We have to be careful. These type of things are hard. The fact that the girl is a known liar, she may not be lying about this. I really hope that your grandfather hasn't done anything, and that, this girl, maybe she's just needs some help on her end. But on your end, you need to find out. You're young enough to go to therapy and process what might have happened to you in the past, if anything did happen to you, and still move on with your life successfully. If nothing happened between your grandfather and the girl, then I really hope that the man is vindicated. But if something did happen between your grandfather and the girl, and if something may have happened with you and your grandfather in the past, then I really hope your grandfather gets the help that he needs, and I really hope that you get the help that you need. Right now, you have to be worried about yourself. Go to therapy and see what you can come up with. I'm 29 years old and I have been friends with someone else since the 8th grade. This person's been there for me throughout some of the most difficult periods in my life. I had a fairly traumatic childhood. We were always getting evicted and moving to a new place, sometimes sleeping in our car for a week or renting a room at seedy sex motels. At times, me and my sisters and brothers would end up apart at different relatives' houses. During my sophomore year in high school, Elle and her parents took me in, clothed me, fed me, the whole 9 yards. Everybody referred me lovingly as their adopted child. Elle also helped me get out of an abusive relationship a few years ago. She's funny as hell, outgoing, loyal, and all of that, an all-around cool chick. But on the flip side, she can go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And when she's mad, you don't want to be on her bad side. The best way I can describe her is that she's like Tammy Roman. Elle has a son with a man who recently got engaged to his other baby's mother. He has been going back and forth between the two of them for years. They've always had their issues, but since their engagement, it's all-out war with Elle and this woman. They Facebook stalk each other and have Twitter battles, call and cuss each other out, etc. Elle has been saying for months that she was going to beat T's ass the next time she sees her. I always thought it was just talk, but on the 4th of July, the shit really hit the fan. My memory on my computer is about to run out, but basically what happened was her friend Elle went to this barbecue and the other girl T was there, and they got into a confrontation. Elle has a bunch of friends. They all went, the girl ended up leaving the barbecue, went home. Elle and her friends went to the house there and ended up beating T's ass. Okay, so now T, the girl T who's got her ass beat, who is engaged to the guy, wants to sue Elle. Elle doesn't feel like she's jumped this girl. She basically feels like that bitch was talking shit and she got her ass kicked, and that's all there is to it. I tried to explain logically to her the way other people, including the law, might see the situation, and she went off on me. I expected that much, but what I didn't expect for her was for her to call me the next day and basically tell me I wasn't a good friend to her because A, I didn't go to the cookout to help her jump somebody, and B, because I called her on her own bullshit. The thing is, in my heart of hearts, I guess I knew that Elle had every intention of fighting this woman, and that is part of the reason I didn't go with her. Elle basically threw back in my face that she's always had my back and she doesn't feel I ever do the same for her. She wasn't mad or yelling. She was calm and just sounded hurt, which in turn hurt me. I love this girl like a sister, but I'm too old to be fighting and getting caught up in drama. I've had so many struggles throughout my life that I'm just ready to move on to the good part. I don't always want to be angry and mad. The rest of our friends feed off on the drama, but I'm really over it. I think it's time to sever our friendship, but I really don't want to. Should I just cut off all lines of communication, or should I try to express to her how I feel? How I do that without her taking it as a personal attack. As silly as this might sound, I also know Elle and some of our friends are... I know how Elle and some of our friends are, and I don't want to be the new object of their hatred. I guess what I want to know is what is the best way to go about breaking off our friendship, especially considering all that her and my family has done for me. I can tell that loyalty is important to you, as it should be. Okay, you know, you guys have been friends for a long time. They've been there. Her family has been there for you, and that's important. It laid a foundation for you guys' friendship. And, you know, friendships that are built this way are even stronger a lot of times. So I understand why you're having such a hard time. Your friend sounds like she's the leader type. If she's the life of the party, if everybody wants to be her friend, everybody wants to be around her, then she is used to being the leader and having a lot of followers. Now, the bad thing about having a lot of followers is good and bad things. It's good to have people that have your back, of course. But the bad part of followers is that a lot of times they're not there for any of your own good. Okay, they're there for themselves. They're trying to, you know, they're your friend by association. They get invited to the parties, or they get to know more people. You know, they are just really your friend, you know, from what they can get from the other person. And it sounds like your friend she thinks that these followers are really her friends. I don't know why people don't realize that your true friend is somebody that doesn't want anything from you, and that is somebody that wants the best for you. A lot of times, you know, people that are leaders, their ego is fed by their followers, and they get so high up on their high horse that they cannot see clearly, and they cannot see when they're wrong. And if nobody's there to tell them that they're wrong, then a lot of times they just don't see it. You didn't go to the party because you knew that something like this was going to happen. She feels that you were a traitor, or that you didn't support her. You cannot put your life in danger like this, okay? You know, she might go to jail, okay? And I love my friends a whole lot, but I'm not fixing to go to jail for none of them. And I don't think you owe her your life. Even though they did a lot for you, you don't owe her your life. You were still going to turn out to be some kind of woman, you know, good, better, and different. You probably turned out to be a pretty good woman because a lot of what her family has done for you, but you don't owe them anything. So you don't really have to support bullshit that, you know, if wrong is wrong. You can't support somebody that's wrong when you know that they're wrong. I think that you should try to talk to her one more time. If you guys can't get past the conversation, then I am going to tell you to let the friendship go. This is a transitional age that you're at, 25, 26. I lost some friends at that age, some that I miss dearly still to this day. But if they don't work into your life now, you know, if they don't work into your life, then you need to get rid of them. It's just, that's just what it is. And you are probably going to lose a good group of friends. If you lose her, you're going to lose all the followers that go along with her. But I'm going to tell you, you'll meet new people. You'll move on with your life. It's going to be a little difficult. You're going to be very sad. It's going to be like a breakup. And but these things do happen. Another thing I would do is tell somebody in her family, you know, exactly what's going on between the two of you, so that they would understand and know, just in case your friend decides to start spreading rumors or lies about the reason why you're not around any longer, just so somebody knows exactly what was what. But sometimes friendships break up. Sometimes ones that you thought was going to be with you to the end are not there anymore. It happens. It is part of life. And you are still going to be fine. Your friend later on down the line, I mean, she might not even be 50 before she realizes that she lost a true friend. And that all this other bullshit that she got going on with these other ones is just that bullshit. You might have to just bite the bullet. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be some bad times. But in the long run, you will have peace of mind. And like you said, get to the good part, honey. Get to the good part. Leave all the rest of that alone. All right, you guys, I gotta go. My camera is really, my laptop is about to blow. Okay, so you guys remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.